Intro. I'm so proud of you both because I actually noticed both of you went on mute during that. Good job, guys.
We're learning. We're getting professional at this.
I wasn't going to, but I saw Colin did, and I felt left out.
I usually make some noise that gets picked up, so I'm trying to get into the habit of not having people have to listen to like my chair creaking as I'm dancing away.
I mean, my chair creaks so bad, but hey, my audio doesn't get picked up, so it's all good. Welcome to Catching Out. It's been a while. It's been a bit of a low season so far because I mean, even though we're 2 meets in, men's league 2 and 3 and 2 and 3 south or whatever you want to call them, they've had 3 league meets at this point. So your available players are locked in. But hey, we're back. We managed it. Just want to start it off by doing a quick thank you, even though it's a bit of a hollow thank you because you guys voted that you don't like listening to podcasts, but for voting us the second most loved podcast beyond not listening to podcasts means a lot.
No, we're the most loved podcast. Just people love not listening to podcasts more.
Yeah.
Specifically,
we're the most loved podcast.
We're literally the best.
Colin and I both voted for that as well. So like, we both also like not listening to podcasts.
I'm pretty sure Colin voted for Catching Out, and you and I voted against it.
I'm allowed to because I've missed half these episodes and had to watch them back.
You're a real fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the Dodgies. There was so thanks Band Dodgeball for sorting that out, and some interesting results elsewhere. We got a first non-Sheffield Bovines winning the best kit. That was a surprise, I think, to many. Derby Phantoms winning all the ones that I think we all expected them to win. Although bees, you guys were up there in terms of inaccuracies. Just gonna say,
Yeah,
but ours is
straight out with the excuses.
Deliberate.
Okay,
yeah,
so
we're not trying. To be fair, I was watching back some of the footage today, and by God, there's some teams that should have been thrown in there as well.
Oh God!
Whenever you're actively looking for it, you see some really bad throwing.
Oh God! Yeah.
There's too many things that I see as good dodges, and you're like, you know what? Actually, in reality, it's just a really shit throw.
Some would argue though it's a really safe throw.
That would be Derby.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know what the answer would be straight away. Anyway, dodgeball news. Start off with that. What's happened since the first week of January?
Sorry, I think we need to take a second to appreciate how silly that calendar is. The idea of starting in January, 3 months late, having 2 back-to-back meets, and then nothing.
Until Easter weekend.
Easter Sunday, no less.
Is it Easter Sunday?
Yeah, it's Easter Sunday. If that doesn't tell you that St. George's Park want us out, then I don't know what else. I don't know
absolutely
what does.
amazing.
No, it's not. It's Saturday. You liar.
Are you sure? I've got it down as
30th
Sunday.
of March. Oh, well, you're wrong.
Well, I am.
It's fine. It's fine. Nick's not going anyway.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm not. Well, no, I'm not going to play. I'm going to watch, but...
You'd be watching.
I'll be in the coach's box, yeah.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah. So we've actually care about our club beyond just the team we play for.
I coach now. That's changed. I've signed down for a coach since January.
Yeah, okay.
I haven't done anything, but I have signed down.
All you've done is be away.
Yeah.
It's not be in the country. Hey Zoe, do you want to take on this training session? Oh, I'm in Switzerland. Oh, I'm in London. Oh, I'm in Paris.
One of my non-dodgeball friends sent me a message on Sunday, just sort of being like, "Hey, I feel like I haven't seen you for ages. Are you around this evening? I feel like every single time I message you, you're just sort of like, oh, I'm in Paris." I saw the message literally when I was in Charles de Gaulle Airport on the way back from Wex, and she obviously didn't know that Wex was going on. She's not a dodgeballer, so I just sent a selfie with a Paris sign. She's like, "Oh, for God's sake, not again!"
Oh, it's so bad.
No. Oh dear.
It's all right. You're gonna slow down eventually. You're only part of the reason why this recording is taking like a month and a half. I'm somewhat to blame for that.
I'm responsible for what, a week delay. I think one of them's my fault, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a first. Nick being responsible.
There was literally a case of Nick's put in a committee meeting on the same day we're meant to record the podcast. Whoops.
To be fair, I think very quickly after that, one of the rest of us was like, "Oh, thank fuck," because I also couldn't make it. You just happened to be in first.
Yeah, I did just let you guys know as soon as possible. By the way, guys, I fucked it. But no,
they also changed one of the dates, didn't they?
Yes, that is apparently due to the fact that England football are actually playing at St George's Park, which I think is a bit inconsiderate of them, to be honest. Like, how dare they use their own facilities to train?
Because they usually do media shit in the futsal hall.
Yeah, but you know,
they've trained while we've been there before.
Yeah, but you know what it means? It means that everyone who would have been at NECs is now eligible to play that league meet.
It's really
How
good
the fuck
news.
am I meant to play like all three teams in one season now? That was my one opportunity. Fuck's sake. God damn it. Just hit English football even more now.
Get good. Get good.
It's not coming home.
Oh god.
Forever cursing you,
But what else has happened? We had UDO. So UDO 3 happened. Once again dominated by English teams and
hell of a British invasion this time.
English Open teams as well, just getting in there and stealing all the wins.
Though to be fair, Switzerland in one of the finals. So with Lausanne Foxes.
Lausanne Foxes, nice.
Yeah.
Which one did they get into?
Men's.
Very good, very good.
Yeah.
I paid no attention to UDO.
We had two British teams in the mixed finals, two British teams in the women's final. No, was it two British? Yeah, it was two British. What was the women's finals? Jesus, no, the women's finals was against Newcombe. Yeah. Anyway, and then the men's final was against Lausanne. So quite a lot of British teams, basically. That's what I'm getting at.
Cool. And were any of them sober? No comment.
The drunkest team did come last, I'll tell you that for free. There was a team that was actively drunk throughout most of this tournament, and they did come dead last. But it was close, occasionally.
Nice, big fan of that.
We do love that.
I'll play in that team. I'll be sober and still stick out like a sore thumb.
That's a social team if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, that was a very good shout out to the Dirty Ducks for that one. They were very good fun all weekend.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah,
Dirty Ducks, okay.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Other than that, with UDO, I mean, it says a lot that we're quite happy to go to other nations' tournaments and go win drunk, but no one's hosting their own in Britain yet, so we'll get there. I'm sure.
Excuse me, Boob Ball. Boob Ball is an iconic event every year.
I actually forgot about Boob Ball.
Does it have international participation?
It could.
Is it an open tournament?
It's an open tournament.
Oh, I thought it was an invite. I thought it was an invite only, to be fair.
No. It's open to anyone.
I had never heard of it until I seen
it's a charity event.
The thing on Instagram. And there was a live stream of it as well, right? I'm honestly poet. I meant poetic as well. Right? It's even the worst thing. But yeah, I seen like a few posts of it on Instagram and stuff. I think there was a live stream as well of it, right?
I know there's planned to be one. I don't know if it actually happened.
No, it did. I don't think it did in the end. I don't think it did in the end.
But it was the plan.
It might have got recorded, but I don't think it actually went live.
Are you not thinking of Foam League? I'm convinced now that
Foam League definitely didn't get recorded.
I know Foam League didn't, but as I know, I think you might be mixing up with that. I swear I've seen this on YouTube before.
Go on.
I'm backing myself.
He's fact checking himself live.
The first thing that comes up is Bird Ball charity event.
There you go.
Just
fair enough. Yeah, so I mean, that also happened recently, didn't it? Yeah, since
yeah,
January.
a couple of weeks ago. It was around the same time.
Yeah, so happened since January. More dodgeball that's happening. What else has happened? BD announced how they're running the championships. It seems a little wild. They've got a junior event going on. They've got a end of season open, which doesn't follow normal open rules. You're gonna have to go find and read the rules yourself because I can't be bothered looking it up right now. To be fair, I do actually have BD open right now. But yeah,
no, we're all right.
Is it like you have to pay to spectate as well, or something like that?
But if you do the end of season open, it'll give you access.
If you play, you don't have to pay to spectate as well.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah, they're not gonna kick you out the hall.
I was gonna say, I think it's more just a hassle of
it would be insane to try and mediate that.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's exactly what went through my head.
Here's the description of it. Each match at the end of season open is 10 minutes long with no half time. All teams will compete in at least 6 matches. The end of season open will also involve British Dodgeball's Power Play open cards that enable teams to play their Power Play cards through the event. Power Play cards may include the following: no block equals an opponent blocks they are out, possession starts with all 5 balls, or super catch brings all players back in, or 1-up, first player out remains in.
Do you have to have it on your arm, like Yu-Gi-Oh cards or something?
Time to
Pikachu.
Someone somewhere just has a 1-up life mushroom from Mario. You've got to eat a green mushroom from Mario to get them 1 extra life.
Is that the adult tournament?
That's the adult tour. That's the adult open.
That's not even the junior one. At least the junior one, I can see them having a bit of a laugh with it. But that's
odd.
Just do the old. I'll be honest,
fun.
Right? So
it's
that format, they used to do a tournament called Dodge Smash.
Yeah.
On it. I don't know if either of you remember this.
Yeah, I remember Dodge Smash.
I'm young.
All right, show off. Fuck, I'm fuming now. Let's talk about Queens right now. They used to do it, basically you played you had 10 teams and you played everybody once throughout the day, in one day, and it was just a 10-minute half, or no 10-minute match, no half time, and it was so much fun. I genuinely, because I remember when me, Matt Whale, Kath Payne, Liam Ryder, Hannah Ward, and then Bevers. He's not getting his full name. Doesn't deserve it.
Enjoy that on your dog walk, Bevers.
All entered together. Me and Liam had to pretend to be a couple for the day to call it couples dodgeball. And then we got our oppositions to pick our positions in the match. So we got them to number us 1 to 6. We turned up. I can't remember whether we were hungover or we actually turned up sober, but we were taking the piss the entire day. I'm pretty sure I gave University of Bangor their first ever set win in dodgeball, and that was the 6th match of the day. I'm pretty sure it's recorded somewhere as well. So that was fun. But yeah, and it's a format they've used before, and it was one I really enjoyed. I thought it was a fun one that I kind of was annoyed that they scrapped, because I think I had this chat with you, Nick, was that it's just a fun way of getting people to just play a lot of dodgeball in a short space of time without anybody taking it too seriously. So I kind of like that. The power card thing's dumb as fuck, but everything else about it, that sounds pretty decent, to be fair.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I like the concepts in theory, just I'm not really sure. British Open to me was always a big, serious, I don't know, the big open. So
they already had British Open this year, right? It's not actually British Open, is it? Is that what they're calling it?
No, they're calling it the Championship or something.
Okay, so they're calling it something else. I don't know. I would just give it a silly name, or I'd make it a charity event. If this was Boob Ball, I'd be singing its praises.
Yep. So enter your team for that for 120 quid and get access to the finals as well.
Still not as bad as the Austrian Open prices.
Austrian, yeah, okay. Yeah.
At like 300 euros or something. Everyone I've spoken to is like, I'm really interested in going to Austria. I also like still having 300 euros.
I would love to send a team out there. I know Max has been like, when I've been speaking to him, he's like, "So you gonna come?" And I'm like, "Nope." I'm saving my money for Worlds. And watching European regionals.
There's going to be this is something I heard at WEX this weekend. There's going to be an open in Brussels, and I did get a flyer for it, but I think I lost it already. But sometime in July, I'm sure it'll be out online somewhere. But yeah, there's open in Brussels, which that could be fun.
I mean, we can hop on a ferry from Hull there pretty easily.
Or close. Brussels is nice.
I have family there too. Believe it or not.
I think they like Vegemite there, don't they?
Who likes Vegemite? Like,
that reference just went way over your heads, both of you.
Well, that's the non-UK version of Marmite, isn't it?
No, that's a. Nah. I'll see if anyone gets what I was trying to shout out there.
I feel like this is a Catherine Thomas, show your knowledge.
Yeah, this is what I was going to say. Every time that Catherine Thomas has been like, someone's going to know, I'm immediately in her inbox being like, I understand what you were talking about. I'm really hoping that she's going to be the first person to message me and be like, I got the reference. I knew what you were talking about when you mentioned Vegemite in the context of Brussels.
You know what would be elite is if actually instead of like messaging us that they understood it, is actually just responding in their podcast. This is a podcast response.
If you understand what the reference is, sing it at the start of the next podcast episode, I think, is the correct answer there.
Please sing it. Please sing it. I'm looking forward to it. Are we just going to start writing love letters to
I can't wait for this reference to just go over all their heads as well. They'll just be like, I think Zoe was going insane.
Should do like
either way.
You should do like a vlog brothers, like, they post on a Tuesday, we post on a Friday time thing when we talk to each other. Anyway, back to dodgeball. I think
we still haven't even got through all of the news yet.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, do we want to talk about? I mean, if we're going to talk about WEX, I feel like which, for those that don't know, is Western European Championships. Shall we? I mean, if we don't know what it is, context is that European Championships happened last year, and then regional championships happens in the gap year, as well as World Championships, and then the year after goes back to the Euros itself. So you got WEX, NECs, and CECs going on. WEX, NEX, and KEX.
Yeah. And then the little known EEK. That doesn't happen, but that we're trying to get off the ground.
Eeks.
Eeks. Eek.
It's
gonna happen.
Yeah, so that's why that exists. Do we want to talk about the build up to it and the penalizations applied to certain teams going into it, or should we leave that for another episode?
I think that those were officially meant to be made public, to be fair. I don't think that was the intention with those, so I'm not really sure. I don't really necessarily want to go into them, but they were applied in the end, so that's good.
Cool. Okay. So there were some penalizations to some teams leading into.
I'm sure everyone already knows, but like
read between the lines.
It wasn't meant to be public.
Go find somebody crying about it on Instagram. There's bound to be one.
There was a certain team in a certain country that posted a whole charade of complaints that we won't mention. But we've had some banter within the past on this podcast. But yeah, so
even I'm starting to doubt who it is. And I know.
Little do you know, the Netherlands was actually penalised, Colin.
Oh wow, yeah. Amsterdam Dodgeball just went on an absolute rant.
Yeah, the X's on their kits count for the number of times that they've been penalised by EDF.
Oh wow. But at that point, I'll leave it over to you, Zoe, to talk about it, because you were actually there and the rest of us were not.
I was there. Despite the fact I wasn't playing, which I think confused a few people. Yeah, there was one person who gently asked me at one point if I was Austrian, which is rare that happens outside of Euros. So I'm glad that I was able to get that experience at a competition that Austria wasn't at either. But yeah, it was an interesting competition. It was like you said, so it's a format where it's only a small portion of nations, so divide up the nations into little separate events. But then within that, then they're allowed to enter up to 3 teams per group. So England entered 3 into everything, and everyone else sort of entered between 1 and 3. I think Spain entered 3 into the mixed, I believe. Yeah. But other than that, there was generally about 2 teams per nation. They went really, really well. I think it's one of those competitions. Well, I mean, elements of it went really well. There are lots of things I think that we need to improve on, but I think the results. People are going to look at the results and they're going to be like, "Wow, this is so one-sided," and England winning everything again. Blah, 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 blah. But for example, if you look at like the women's results, it sort of looks initially, it's like England 2 came first, England 1 came second, then you've got the Netherlands, then you've got Wales. The Netherlands and the Wales, they played semi-finals against respective England teams. Both of those finals, they lost by a set. So it could have easily been a Netherlands v Wales final. And then that entire board would look very different. And then nobody would be making any complaints about England dominating everything. That being said, it was a mixed up squads from England. So make no mistake, this isn't as if England, the one that we see at Euros, the actual starting lineup or the actual starting lineup at Worlds, it's not as if they're going to necessarily be beaten by Wales or the Netherlands anytime soon. But it's really, really good to see that they're up there. They're close. They're within spitting distance. It was a really good tournament. There were so many tech problems with the live stream. It was just me, and I think that's hard to explain to people. What that means is that I was doing like 4 different people's jobs at one point. I was like trying to manage the camera and the live stream at the same time as I was trying to like explain to people that I don't know where the first aid kits are, because I was the only EDF person there. So of course people came up to me to ask me that all the time. And at the same time, I'm trying to like run the scoreboards on my phone, and I'm getting messages from people being like, "We can't hear the second mic." I'm like, "There isn't even a second mic. What are you?" I don't know what you're talking about. So it was all just it was very stressful, but I think it's very lucky to have lots of very wonderful people around. It's the vibes are really nice at regional Euros, because you know that it doesn't, like, in the worst way possible, it doesn't matter. It matters.
Yeah, it's not going to impact rankings or groups decisions
exactly.
and stuff like that. Yeah,
it's not a qualifying tournament.
It's vibes.
And it's just purely vibes, and it's purely development. And so there's like, I mean, by the end of the tournament, there was a bit of frantic energy just because everyone was so tired. But throughout the rest of it, then everyone was just, I don't know, really chill, really nice.
Long days, to be fair.
They're long days. It's the same number of matches as you get in Euros, but it's in 2 days, because the idea is if you keep it to just 2 days, then people don't have to take time off work.
Yeah.
And so you end up being able to get a lot more people. And there's obviously some people that can't take time off work either, like teachers, for example, can't take time off work. So you have to be scheduling events to either be during school holidays or only take a weekend.
Yeah.
So it's important that it stays over just 2 days. But then that means if you're running a full tournament in just 2 days, people are playing 6 matches per day, 6 matches of 40 minutes. And then usually in the match slots that they weren't playing, they were reffing. So it's very, very, very intense, very hard on everyone. But yeah, really nice vibes. And that meant kind of like with all the sort of issues that were coming up around not just the live stream, there were lots of other things, but the live stream is the only one that I feel like I should really, like, I can give myself permission to talk about the issues on the live stream. There are lots of other issues that I'm sure other people who were at WEX can tell you about. I don't feel like I could talk about them because it wasn't my department necessarily, and so I don't have permission.
You're also too busy being sat at the laptop the entire day struggling with internet issues.
It was awful. I mean, that being said, I could see
by the way,
issues.
Like, to quote Zoe, I don't know if you mentioned it to the Catching Out group or you mentioned it to me, but you're like, yeah, I literally just like rocked up and found out that Sportswear had no electricity.
It's the thing anyone said to me when I came in. They were like, I walked over because they had a table that was set up with all the other stuff that they were using for managing the event. So, the sort of laptops with all the school lines and stuff on it. I walked over to that table, set myself up initially, and the first thing anyone says to me is, the sockets aren't working, there's no electricity. I was like, what? What do you mean the sockets aren't working? They're like, the sockets aren't working, there's no electricity. We're getting the the guys, the sort of techs, the I don't know.
The electricians.
People, people that run the building. We're getting them to sort it out. So they were sorting that out, and at the same time we were like, there's also no internet. I was like, right, okay, but that's not a problem until we fix the electricity. And so that very much felt like the theme of the weekend for me from a live stream point of view. Was I was aware that there were so many problems in the distance, but you had to solve the initial problem first to be able to even bother with the next one. Because if there's no electricity, it doesn't even matter that there's no internet. The minute you get electricity, you're like, right, okay, we do need internet to do a live stream. And so we tried to work that out, and bless it, I felt like every single dad of an England player came up to me at some point to offer a hotspot. And I was just working my way through all the different hotspots. And they were all so helpful, all so nice. I've met so many dads, and they're all brilliant. And I was working my way through the hotspots, trying to work out who had the best hotspot. And just as we found one that was actually like really good, then one of the French like techs comes over to me and taps me on the shoulder and is like, the internet's back. And I was like, what, in the last 5 minutes? He's like, yeah, in the last 5 minutes. I was like, I just found a hotspot that works. If you told me this 5 minutes ago, it would have been so much better.
Well, I had no idea about that. That's incredible.
Yeah. And then just so many problems. And eventually you get to a problem that you can't solve. You're like, okay, so we're at the point, this is as good as the live stream is going to get. We're not going to get any better than this. But we got the live stream. And, you know, mums and dads and grandparents everywhere, I'm sure, were very appreciative of the fact that it still existed. It did turn into me just sort of radio commentating at points. That's true, Wilkie. And also, weirdly, in the men's final, just a bunch of Owen Reed's friends who were commenting on his hairline. So, yeah, it was an interesting chat. But yeah, it was
I can't
good
say
fun.
shit about that.
I challenge you to moderate that at Worlds, Colin. At what
Maybe
point is the line crossed? Like when you're like, you know what, that hairline. I mean, you know, none of us can talk about it.
I can talk.
Well,
I don't have male pattern baldness.
Okay, Colin and I can't talk. Our audio listeners are going to be so confused.
What do you mean the audio listeners are going to be confused? Do you think the audio listeners think I'm going bald, Nick?
It's just your headset.
Audio listeners are going to be listening to this going, oh my god, I thought she had no hair. Are you telling me Zoe Wells has hair? Fucking hell, that changed my entire perspective of this podcast.
I mean, I bet it does for some people. I bet it does, let's be honest.
Oh my god. Oh.
Anyway, that's Wex in a nutshell. I don't know if there's anything else to cover on it. I thought it was interesting that England split their teams as they did because with World Championships this year. I wasn't sure whether they were going to have a full-on strong team and practice that for Worlds, or whether they were going to mix up different people to try and test different combinations and see. And in the end, they kind of just mixed everything up from what I could tell. So I don't know. Can't tell from what we saw, but either way, some strong teams there nonetheless.
Yeah.
Could see a lot of people getting debuts and getting a chance to play, somewhere different and against very different oppositions and getting used to that kind of style of weekend. Because like having played it before, it is fucking exhausting playing for like 4 days straight. So that's a good like transition into full on dodgeball. Like
quite a few debut players coming up to me and being like, I'm so tired, everything's awful. I only slept 6 hours last night. I was like, you slept 6 hours? That's amazing. My average at Euros was 4.
Oh, no, the worst had to be fucking New York World Cup where it finished playing at 3 a.m. and the first matches were at like 8 or 9.
Absolutely insane. No.
That was awful.
Unethical.
Is this also the first WECs? Because no, there was one before.
Is it?
I feel like there was plans.
Definitely CCs before.
Yeah, there's been CCs, but I think it used to be the 4 Nations or whatever it was before, right?
I don't know. I'm not English.
No, the Six Nations was and it like turned into NECs.
No, not. I don't think. Oh,
the Six Nations was a thing, but that was with England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, and somebody else.
Is it Sweden?
Sweden was definitely.
I can't remember. It was in Liverpool like years ago.
Yeah. Well, because I knew like just before COVID, they did like a Four Nations thing where they did like games in Wales, games in Scotland, and games in Ireland and in England.
Oh, you mean the Home Nations League?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't the same. Yeah.
Yeah,
but no, that was a BD thing, wasn't it? That wasn't. EDF.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
But I think that was
CECs has existed since 2017. Yeah. So how has WEX not existed that whole time?
Well, so I think NECs was the next one planned. That was like it was NECs and CECs, but COVID happened. I think the year that NECs was meant to start, from memory.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because it was meant to be in Dublin.
Right. Okay.
Because it was a tournament. Because a few months before, because I was meant to be the one that all my family went to.
So yeah,
I remember it.
WEC's debut.
Yeah.
We definitely didn't go off on a tangent on this.
Yeah.
You know, we know what we're talking about on this podcast.
If you listened to all of that and stuck around, fucking fair play to you.
And like some people have come to actually listen about National League, and you know we haven't even.
Nick will have a gold star ready for you for nationals.
I actually have a load from Euros as well that I need to get rid of. Zoe knows what I was talking about.
You're not meant to say that. You're meant to say you went out of your way to get it.
No. Minimum effort this podcast.
Oh, there's one last thing I want to say about WECs. Portugal, oh my god. Portugal on their debut tournament coming, what was it, 6th in the men's? Their ones? That's amazing. That's fantastic.
Cardoso, my hero.
Dave Cardoso. There were a couple, like, they did have a couple international players that transferred from other nations that were playing for them. But then most of them were just new players, and they were very, very good. Like you couldn't tell that they were new. They were incredibly athletic, like very, very, very bouncy. You know, when you just watch. It's the same feeling I have whenever I watch France 2s in the men's at WCs, because they're all like young. They're all young players, so they all just jump everywhere. And they're so bouncy, and so you just look at them and you're like, wow, I don't think I was like that when I was 18, but fucking hell.
Yeah, I can't relate.
No, exactly. my knees do not work like that. But
my knees still don't work like that.
My knees have actually got to the point where they click when I walk now, and I'm like, oh god.
Love
Crunchy.
That. He's a walking drum machine.
Yep. But yeah, no, that's good to hear. Did Portugal just enter a men's team, or did they have a mixed as well, or was it?
No, they just had men's. They don't. They haven't invented women yet in Portugal, I don't think. But they do have a very nice kit. I'll give that to Portugal. I think the nicest kit at WEX was. I'm just taking the opportunity to talk while you guys are dead. The nicest kit was Portugal. It was the same kit that they have like for football, but it's a nice kit in football. So why would it be a nice kit in dodgeball? You know.
Did somebody take the number 7 so they could do this?
Just makes the catch.
To be fair, David used to do it at nationals all the fucking time. Oh, bless him.
I feel like if there was a Portuguese player called Ronaldo, that would help me explain to people why I was so excited when I found out that there was a Dutch player called Miedema so much more easily. Because I was so excited when I found that out.
Oh, really? I thought you held your composure really well whenever
you found that out. It's fine. I made a good friend out of it.
And she came to stalk her.
Exactly.
Oh, God. Wow.
Anyway, so nationals.
Nationals.
Fair play Portugal. Fair play WCs. Yeah, nationals.
Shout out Dave and Carlos.
That's it. Please like and subscribe. We're now over 200. Massively appreciate that. And see you at League.